Hello everyone, this is Dr. Madhuri, Team MDS Conquer. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about the complication of the wound healing and few very important points. So these are the complications of the wound healing, which includes infection. This is because of the bacteria which enters and it delays the wound healing. Epidermal cyst, this is due to the persistence of the epithelial cells in the wound even after the healing. Pigmentation because of the staining with the hemosiderin. Seroma means the collection of the fluid with a lymph or the blood. So treatment of the seroma will be of sterile puncture following with the suction the drain. Then hematoma means the collection of the blood, and if it's a minor hematoma, it can be resolved with the hot fermentations, or analgesics and antibiotics. But if it is large, it will go for the sterile puncture and the surgical exploration. Then scar formation due to inadequate formation of the granulation tissue. If there is a weak scar, then it leads to incisional hernia, and in few cases, rarely, the neoplastic cells will grow, which finally ends up with the carcinoma in later stages. Here come the important complication, that is the keloid. Keloid is the excessive formation of the collagen. As it is a claw-like, it is called as a keloid. And this keloid you can see here, mostly seen in the African and Asian population, and it is very painful. Treatment includes, even if it is very large, radiation, and even the intralesional corticosteroid and the local anesthetic injections can be given. And hypertrophic scar, you can see here, it is confined only to the incisional line, and the non-hyalinic collagen fibers and fibroblasts can be seen here. And this regresses spontaneously within a period of 1 to 2 years. This table is very important, which shows the differences between the keloid and the hypertrophic scar. So the genetic predisposition you can see only in the keloid, whereas no genetic predisposition in the hypertrophic scar. Site of occurrence is the chest wall and upper arm, ear, lower neck in the case of keloid, whereas actually this hypertrophic scar occur everywhere, but most commonly you can see in the flexor surfaces. Growth, it does not have a limit, whereas hypertrophic scar, it has a limit. That means it can grow only within limit for a 6 months of time. Even with the treatment, this keloid will have a poor response, whereas hypertrophic, with the treatment, it will have a good response. Recurrence rate is very high for the keloid, whereas there is no recurrence and rarely recurrence rate for the hypertrophic scar. Collagen synthesis, type 3 thick collagen is synthesized and 20 times more when compared with the normal skin, whereas in the hypertrophic scar 6 times more, whereas type 3 and fine collagen is synthesized. Relation of size of injury, it has no relation with the size or site of the injury or size of the injury, whereas hypertrophic scar, it is related to the size of the injury. Then coming to the age, it can occur in the adolescence and the middle age, whereas hypertrophic scar, it occurs in the children. Sex predilection, it is more common in females, whereas it is equal in both. And the structure, it will have a thick collagen with hyaluronic acid, whereas it has a fine collagen with increased alpha actin. These are very, very important. And then these are the treatment plan for both hypertrophic and keloid scars, like pressure, silicone gel sheeting, intralesional steroid injections, and post-operative radiation, mostly for the keloid scars, intralesional excisions only for the keloid scars, lasers, it will reduce the redness and even it resolves the inflammation. Vitamin E and all excisions have a high rate of recurrences in the keloid scars. Then these are other complications like excessive contraction, proud flesh, and wound dehiscence. This is because of wound rupture due to pressure. So those are the complications. Now we'll see a few important points. Here the wounds can be closed by primary suture if they are clean and selected contaminated wounds. Whereas delayed primary suture for the heavily contaminated wounds and wounds in which wound toileting has been delayed for 6 to 8 hours. Then there is a wound strength. So in this thing, you have to remember this timings. That is, first week it will be reached 10%, and the strength increases within 4 weeks, and the rate, I mean the slows at approx, this strength will this rate will increased rate will slow approximately at the third month. And here, before this third month, it will reaches the 70 to 80% of the tensile strength has been reached. Then the recovery of the tensile strength results from excess of collagen synthesis during the first 2 months. So you have to remember at first week, fourth week, third month, and the first 2 months. Finally, the muscle viability. This can be detected by 4C. Remember these 4Cs, that is color, contractility, consistency, and capillary bleeding. Dead muscle has dark, unhealthy color. Dead muscle will do not twitch. And dead muscle has lost its turgor and it will have a machine consistency, whereas this will not bleed at cut end. So these are the 4Cs you have to remember. So this is regarding the complications of the wound healing. And in this thing, the very important thing is the differences between the keloid scar and the hypertrophic scar. Okay, stay well, study well. Happy reading with MDS Conca.